So awesome. So I would encourage you. I want to just say Michael Bocart is just reminding me of some sizzle, what 2014, 2015, 2020, 2021. It's just like, gosh, those were humongous growth years for just Team Win and for Dreamers. And guys, like I literally listened to that call and just thought, this is possible. I saw Ann White was just all fired up, and I was like, yeah, this is possible for us all. What he talked about is nothing magical. It's just good old fashioned. He's just like, it's network marketing. And he got to work. He enrolled 80 people last week. And that seems crazy, right? 80 people. But guys, your entire life is a ratio. It is an absolute ratio. It just means he reached out to more people. He said he did 500 reach outs. Not they weren't net new people. They're people he had in the pipeline. He really talked about the importance of a list. And so here's what we're going to do for reach outs. I'm a big fan of, hey, not everybody has a morning routine that's like mine. So if you did not do your birthday messages yet today, let's send them tonight. People just appreciate that you've thought of them. And I've told you guys what I say, but for anyone new or hasn't heard it, I just say, Holly, I want to wish you the happiest birthday. I hope today is the kickoff to the greatest seasons that you've ever experienced. And I pray that you see unexpected miracles and supernatural blessings everywhere your eyes land, and may it cover your entire family. And I say something like that, and I'm literally thinking of the person. So I hope that they feel the enthusiasm, but I just give everybody a very personalized, like I wish them what I'd love to have in my life. I want my life to be covered by supernatural blessings and unexpected miracles, overflow, abundance. I change it for every person. But if you haven't done that today, I want you to send a birthday message in the next few minutes. And then the other thing that might be interesting is you want to let people know, even more importantly, they've got just under 3 hours to capitalize on Cyber Monday, huge discounts. And so I would tell you, do either one of those. I'm going to let some people know that I'm going to make sure, oh my gosh, do they all know? Some people that have ordered from you, existing customers, or people that you are like, gosh, if they just try these products. Let's take a few minutes and do both of those things, either one of those things. If you already messaged everyone that you know, everybody with skin and everybody who eats, let's move on to birthday messages. But I prioritize the Cyber Monday. Let's get it in.
Everyone's so focused. Oh my gosh. Ladies are focused.
I
I look
love
down, they're
it.
like, da-da-da-da-da.
I love it. A lot of people are going to be getting some savings with you guys doing this work. Awesome. All right. Well, let's wrap up because we got a big, exciting call for you tonight. So I want to just introduce this person who's extremely special to me, such an awesome part of my history. The reason I say that is because I first met her, and I always will know how long I've known her because I met her when I was pregnant with my oldest daughter, Avery, who's almost 18 years old. And I walked in to the YMCA where Mary worked and was a senior leader there and also taught a prenatal water aerobics class. So I walked in very pregnant to be in this class. And some of those women I met in the class are still amazing friends. Mary, I just had a long conversation with Shannon Roth. Just a lot of those women have stayed good friends, and Mary was a central part of that. And I asked Mary a lot of times to do Isagenix. And I will tell you, she's one of the stories that I just reminds me that the fortunes in the follow-up and the very best people, the right people eventually will say yes when it's their time. And Mary is a great example of that. Let me just tell you a little bit about Mary on a personal level. She is married to her amazing husband, Doug. They were high school sweethearts. They grew up in New Jersey, but they moved to Maine. And she just said they did that because they thought it was the cool thing to do. They have 3 daughters, 3 amazing, beautiful daughters, all in their 30s, 6 grandchildren, ages 3 to 11, very, very involved in their grandchildren's lives. One of the things about Mary, besides the fact that she is her and Doug both long, active leaders, top leaders inside the Rotary organization, locally and on the national level. They've also hosted 19 high school students over the span of 21 years in 2 states through an amazing program with the Rotary Youth Exchange. She has a massive heart for service. She loves to help others. She's the kindest person. If you ever spend any time with her, you'll leave feeling so much better. She's started and joined us in 2015. And she says that she loves the possibilities that it offers. She's a 1-star Golden Circle. So she's a crystal executive who's reached 1 star, and she is already in for the leadership retreat in February. So Mary, without further ado, I'm so grateful that you're able to join us tonight. And I can't wait for people to hear the value that you bring, just a long history of leadership. I think you're muted though, just unmute.
All right, I'm unmuted. Thank you. Thank you for the introduction. And yes, I still remember you coming in, waddling on that pool deck. I never heard the term Hot Mess Express. And when you said it years later, that was the image, because you came rushing in, you were late to class. Everybody else had already introduced themselves, and here you come. Yeah, so it was great. I got into Isagenix for the products. I first shared 8 years ago. This month was my biggest month 8 years ago, because I wanted everyone to feel as great as I felt, even complete strangers. I remember calling Jessica. My dad lived in Southern Maryland on the Chesapeake, and we would go down every weekend. And I remember going into the rest stop and just seeing people struggling to get out of their cars and lumbering up to go get really bad food. And I just wanted to have a billboard on both sides of my body saying, "Stop, there's a better way." I wanted everyone to feel this good, but I stayed literally, because I took 2.5 years off. A lot of people don't know. My son-in-law, who passed away 19 months ago, he developed a brain tumor when their youngest child was 4 weeks old. And it was March, the beginning of March. It actually happened March 2nd of 2020. And our whole world just like fell apart. Collagen had just come out. I think it was a month old, and I had to stop. I had to stop building Isagenix, but I got paid every Monday for 2.5 years and did absolutely no work, because the work I had done was prior to that point. And for this presentation tonight, I need to thank my mom and my sisters and my friend Elaine, because they were helping me go through the Zoom and make sure I had everything right. And also I want to thank Brandy and Jeff. I built my Isagenix business on Thursday night opportunity calls that we had via Zoom with our team. They were consistent. We had them every week. And like I said, I'm the one who let things slide, but Jeff and Brandy, and I created my own PowerPoint slides. They were totally really bad, but they got the point across. But now we have such beautiful, beautiful artwork. And Jeff and Brandy shared with me their slides. So tonight I want to talk about a feature called co-host. Okay. And you heard Jessica say to Lauren that she needed to make me a co-host tonight. And Kim has volunteered to be my co-host without any prior training. So thank you, Kim. So the first thing that I would like everyone to do is look at the bottom of your screen. Okay, because we have all of these opportunity calls that we're going to be hosting on Wednesday nights. Okay. And we want to have great calls. So I want everyone to look at the bottom. Do you see the toolbar that you have? So you have mute, and just play around with these buttons. Don't feel weird. The worst thing that you're going to do is hit the end button. You're going to leave. We'll let you back in. It's not a big deal. So if you see the up arrow next to the mute, you see all these different selections. I don't even know what they do. Okay, don't worry about it. But if you're ever playing a video and the sound isn't coming through to the people watching, it has to do with this part. So you want to make sure that your microphone is connected to your video. So the next one over is stop video, but you can see a whole bunch of other features there, and you can play around. If you want to blur your background, you can have different filters. And then here, Kim, this is where I need you to unmute yourself, please. And if everyone opens up the participant button, so click on that little up arrow or click in the box. There we go. So did everyone do that? You clicked in the box where the people are. Kim, can you read what your screen says, like halfway down, because we have a chat going on.
So mine, when I hit the participants, it says invite and copy invite link.
Okay, perfect. So now I'm going to make you the co-host. So I find you up in the search bar under participants. There you are. And then I go over and I make co-host. And then it should pop up on the top of the screen that you are the co-host. Now, can you read what your participant says?
If I hit the arrow or so, okay.
Little...
So right now, like Andrea asked to unmute. Everybody else is muted, or I can ask someone to unmute. So if I were to click on somebody, I can, and it says invite, mute all.
Mute all. That's the one I was going for. Mute all. You didn't have that last time.
Correct.
So mute all is a feature that the co-host has. So when you're doing these opportunity calls on Wednesday nights, you want to make sure you come into your meeting with a co-host. That way they can go right there. And if you click on that button, it says allow participants to unmute themselves, and then you can check that little box. Okay. But if you go over to the more, Kim, and what does yours say?
I can ask everyone to unmute. I can mute all. I can lock the meeting. I can enable the waiting room.
Yep, perfect. Awesome. Okay. So that's why I needed Kim to be my co-host tonight, just to go through that. And let me go back to my notes. So thank you so much, Kim. That was pretty easy. Do you think everyone can do that? Figure out how to make a co-host. And then what we're going to do is, when you are inviting people to your meetings, so back on that, back on your participants, you can invite. So in the beginning of this meeting, Lauren said, or Jessica said, why don't you get on and invite people? You can do it right from that screen. So you can copy the link. If you click on the participants' little arrow, the up arrow, it copy invite link, and it goes right to your clipboard, just like a regular Zoom invite does. And then you can go into your Messenger, you can go into your email and send out that link and say, hey, we have a Zoom happening, why don't you hop on? So let me go back. So with that, and I just want you to play around with those buttons. Don't be nervous. Like I said, you just got to get around and play with it. And one of the things that I love is I have my own Zoom account. I've had it since 2016, but I use it for Rotary as well. But you can just play around. You have your own personal meeting room. So get on. I get on by myself and I practice. Right now, people think I'm talking to just air, but I actually have a script here. I have minimized my screen, my Zoom. The only person I can see in the upper left-hand corner on my whole computer is Kim. Everything else are my notes. So I can read my notes in my presentation. So people think that I have everything memorized, but I really don't. I have taken the time to write it out. It's in pretty big letters, so I can see it easily. And it's actually like 4 pages long, and I just scroll through as I'm going down. So that's why I recommend getting your own Zoom account and playing around in that personal meeting space. Be weird. You can record yourself. You can see what you look like. I realized with my reading glasses, you can't see my eyeballs, but you know, that's the way it is. I need them to see. And the other thing with the presentation, with the slides, your co-host can have those slides. You can have your script that I wrote out to go along with those slides, and I just made it for me, and I can share this with people if you want it. But it is, I think, 4 pages long, and it goes through, you know, the first part is imagine your life. The second is opportunity awaits. Then we have the company, simple, proven, natural, targeted solutions. So those, you can have your co-host go through the slides while your script is up here. And if the two of you practice, your co-host will know when they need to advance. So it's smooth, it's rehearsed, but it comes across as effortless. And that's what you want it to look like. Because, you know, they've given us all these great tools, we might as well use them. And with that new 1 page, you know, send that out to the people ahead of time so they have it. They can look at the QR codes ahead of time. So when they get to And that's what you say. Hey, look at all these products. You know, what do you want to focus on? Do you want to focus on beauty? Do you want to focus on weight loss? You know, look at the products. And then when we're done this presentation, then we'll talk. Okay. So it gives them ideas about what products are out there, what they can do, because we do have an amazing grocery store right on our phone, and we can shop wherever we want, whenever we want. So yeah, so that's it, you know. And the one thing that I do on my calls is I don't have a Q&A. Okay, so this is how I end. Let me see. Thank you all for hopping on this call. It will only run about 20 minutes. You're going to have questions. The purpose of this call is to get the conversation started with the person who invited you. So be sure to follow up and then end the call. Just end it. You know, leave them wanting more, leave them wanting to reach out. And then you can see the people who hopped on that you invited, if they hopped on, you know. And then it's just a really good way to get the conversation started. And I've committed to doing these. I know we're going to do them Wednesday nights. I have Rotary every Wednesday, so that's a tough night for me, but I can invite my people to that. But I also want to host these. So I'm going to do them every Thursday at 9 on my own and get it going again, because we have an amazing opportunity. And that is all I have.
Mary, you're incredible. I took advantage of one of your tips and blurred my background, which is very needed. That is an awesome thing. I never realized how people did that. So thank you. Blurring the background is a great tip. I also love what you're saying here about, and this is an awesome way to do a funnel, you guys. And we used to do Monday night meetings, and we would have Wednesday night opportunity calls, because we'd say, oh, you come on Monday, you get excited, invite your people to Wednesday. We're going to do a Zoom call, or Monday, we're going to have this meeting all over again. And so I just want to encourage you, as Mary is talking about, you know, we're going to do this opportunity calls on Wednesday nights. So your person gets on and says, that was awesome. Well, cool. Invite your friends to come tomorrow. We have another one. Or when you're inviting people and they can't get on Wednesday, they could get on Thursday. So just a reminder about that funnel concept of just getting people through the funnel, just bringing them. They would come on when we do the in-person events in my basement on Monday nights, people would come, and then the next week they'd come and they'd bring friends. And so that's what got people sharing with two, or they'd come with two friends and then their two friends would bring two friends. And it got to the point where, and there's people on this call that remember when we were standing room only, ran out of chairs. In any event, guys, Mary, thank you so much for sharing. I'll let you guys get into the 2.5 hours left on this special. Let's get everybody the best deals that we possibly can. Stock up on your own orders like I'm doing. You guys have an amazing night, and thank you for everything. Thank you for an amazing week last week. We'll chat with you soon.